Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers in the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group. This is video 1 in my Bluebirds Journal series. This is my design team project for LineDotArrow for February of 2023. I can't believe it's going to be February already. This has 21 pages. I'm going to do a flip through, and it's in the UK size, so you're going to have the bigger borders. You need to do, excuse me, bit my own tongue. You need to do this with the fit to page off and the borderless off. Okay, so these are your image pages, and they're beautiful. Well, they're all beautiful, but I'm just saying. And there's several of these. I love this blue jay. I don't know what this is. Kind of looks like a kingfisher. Then we have your collage pages. And don't forget about the printing. And I haven't printed on the back yet. Oh, and speaking of printing, I haven't printed on the back yet, but I want to make sure pages are right side up. So what I did is, while they were in the printer, you know, right after they came out, I made a gold line. You can make it whatever color you want. I should have used my black Sharpie, but my black Sharpie was empty. Or no, is not empty. It's in the dining room, packing up Christmas stuff. Anyway, because I'm filming this in January, I'm not taking my tree down in the middle of February, just in case you're wondering. But I made a mark. So as when they came out in the right corner, I made a mark up and down all the pages because I have a border, so I knew I wasn't going to draw in the pictures. So then when I put them back in to print them, then I know to put this in the same corner when I put them back in the printer to print on the backs. Little Terry tip for you once I spit it out. So you'll see that little mark on each one that's not a printing mark. The flutter by. Then you have your writing pages. And your backing papers. And we have some ephemera. I like these tags like this, and I like the tags with the darker colors because my scan and cut will cut them out. And you have a couple fussy cuts with an envelope and a bigger envelope. Now these are the bigger label tag deals. This is the tags or the labels in the smaller size. And then you have 4 ephemera pieces. You have 4 pockets. You have 3 big tags and 3 more big tags. So you have 6 big tags. Okay? So that's the kit, and that's the end of 1.1, 1.A part of this video. And I think you're going to like this. Not sure what we're going to do yet, but I've already decided you're going to like it. We've got such pretty papers to work with, so hopefully I'll figure out something good to do with it. All right, I will see you in the next part of the video, and I will be right. Okay, I'm back. So what we're going to do in this half of the video is we're going to make the base of our book. And the first thing I did was to make the size of the papers. They were 10 and some odd crazy number. And I didn't want to try to figure out how to divide that in half. So I cut a little bit off of each one and made them 10.5 inches long. So then when I cut them in half, they gave me 5 1/4. Okay, so that's how I got the size of the paper. Then I'm going to use one without a paper clip. Then to figure out the size of my tab paper, because we're going to make a ring-bound journal, and every other page is going to have a tab. And I have something under my finger now. There we go. And then the way to figure that out is you've got 5 1/4 plus 1/8 on either side, which is another 1/4, so that's 5 1/2, plus 1/2 inch space for your holes for the ring bound. So that's going to give you a 6-inch wide piece. So you're going to start from the, first you're going to cut them in half. So you're going to take your folder, open it up. Oh wait, Lucky Frog, move him out of the way. First we're going to cut him in half, not the frog, the folder. Cut him in half at the seam where it folds, at the factory fold. That will give you one of these. Hold on. That will give you one of these and one of these. So on this one, you want to measure 6 inches over, make a mark, and I would make the mark at the bottom, or no, at the top. Then flip it around so you've got your flat edge against the top of the paper trimmer so that it's flat and straight, and then cut it at the 6-inch mark. Okay, so let's do that. You know what? It didn't come out at 6. And I'll tell you why. Because 6 inches is oh yes, it is 6 inches. And you're going to have to mark it because 6 inches on most paper trimmers is right where that seam is. And you can't figure out where 6 inches is. So let's get this back out. We're going to take, this is going to be our first page. I made a template somewhere and to make this page. Then, oh no, I didn't. Let me go back. And you end up with this. Okay, so then you're going to take your 6-inch mark and you're going to cut it off at 6 inches. So we're going to cut this off at 6 inches. I'm going to use the first page as a template, but you're going to be on your first page. Okay, so you're going to mark it at 6 inches. And in fact, you want to mark it at the bottom. And then you want to mark 1/8 of an inch. Go down 1/8 and lay your paper on there. And then go down another 1/8 and mark your width. And that's how I get the very first page size. Then you take the template that you've made on your first page. Well, I'm sorry. This is terrible. Terrible tutorial. This is your first page. So you've marked your 6 inches. Then you've marked your length at 1/4 of an inch longer than your paper. So then you cut that. Remembering to turn it upside down. And then cut the length. That will give you this, which is your first page. And then it will give you this here because we haven't cut that off yet. And we're going to use this as a spare. So you're going to set this to the side because we don't want this little notched area. So this becomes a scrap. Like these. You can use them in another project or, you know, whatever. Then you're going to take the other half of the manila folder that you cut in half. Let me move these papers out of the way now that we have our measurements. You're going to end up with quite a few pages once you cut them in half. So then you take this folder and you turn it over so the tab is on this side, and it doesn't really matter because we're going to cut it off. So then you're going to start at the bottom because we want this one to be square. So you're going to start at the bottom and you're going to measure the height minus the tab. How did I do that? No, I pushed it up. Now I'm trying to remember how I did it. The first time around. Did I put it back on here and then cut it at 6 inches wide? No, because that's too short. I think I took the wrong piece and put it in the scrap pile. Right, because when you cut it off to the correct height, then you get, you don't get the part where it's folded. You go over so that you don't have the notch. And you cut it minus the tab height. So you want a page that's square. So you're going to start here and you're going to mark your width. And that's so that you don't get the notch and you don't really want to make that dark of a line. And then you're going to go here for your length. So you're going to cut your width first. Whoops. On this one you have to mark both sides. So you're going to have to make sure that it's straight. So line the tabs up. I had a template and then I realized I had made it too long. So that's why we're doing this from scratch. Then we'll have a template that we can use. So you want it to be straight. Gosh darn it. Okay, so that's the width. This is the length. And then you have a width over here as well. Okay. And you don't want to do it really dark because you want to be able to erase the line. And then that will give you a piece without the tab. So we're going to actually need to mark the height on this one, aren't we? At the top. So we've got here, we've got there, we've got there, and then we want to mark the height right here. And that will give us a square piece. Okay, so let's cut this off first. Then we'll cut the tab off. And then we'll cut the bottom off. So to make the second page, you're going to make three cuts. And then that should give us a page. Whoops. That should give us a page. The same as this one, only square. Ta-da. So then you're going to take the one with the tab and measure in your 1/2 inch. At the top and at the bottom. So you're going to go in 1/2 inch at the top And make a little mark at the top and the bottom and make it light. Then you're going to make a very light line straight down so that you have a line at your 1/2 inch. Okay, then you're going to measure the 1/2. Now I'm going to use my template or my first page because I don't want to measure the center. So you want to measure where the center is. Okay, so that's going to be your center. You'll have a dot right there. Then you're going to go 1/2 inch down from the top and 1/2 inch up from the bottom. Now, an inch. An inch up from the bottom and an inch down from the top. And I want to, I've already made my first page to show you. So I'm just going to draw a circle where the holes are that I've already made. But you're going to be making dots on your first page. And the reason I'm doing circles is so that I can make sure mine are lined up. So then you want to do that for 3 folders. How did I end up with... Oh, because how did I end up with 3? Because I should have cut this one. I didn't cut page 2. I should have 2 flat ones and 2 tabbed ones at this point, because I've already done a page. I had to find the right leftover piece to make my second page. I knew something was wrong because I only had 1 folder left, and you're going to use 3 folders. Okay, so now I've got my square one. So once you make the circles, and you know these 2 are right, line them up at the bottom, and then just keep them. Right, this one looks like it's a little bit too long. So double check your measurements. This is the way I cut it, not the way I measured it. Now, these should all be the same width. Okay, so just keep making your pieces. At this point, you should have 2 square ones and 2 round ones if you've made 2 folders. So you're going to put them in order of a tabbed and a flat and a tab and a flat. So let's make 2 more pages. So we're going to cut this in half. We're going to use both sides. So we're going to, on the tabbed one, we're going to flip it over, make sure the tab is on the right. We're going to line this up. Line the tabs up. Then tap it to make everything even. Measure your width and your height, or your length, whichever way you want to call it. You can cut either one first, it doesn't matter. you'll have the same size piece. Flip it over so the flat side is against your guide on your trimmer. Oh goodness. And make sure you set that aside as a scrap, what's left, so you don't accidentally use it as your, to make your square one. Okay. Now we're going to take the square one. Make sure you've got all your little marks marked off. You're going to take the other half of this folder. Now this time you can just set it even at the bottom and the end to get your size. And then mark your width and your height. I don't want those 3 little lines at the bottom. So let's measure the height from the top. That's why we have to cut it 3 times. So just line up the top with the notch. Mark off your height. And then make the 2 cuts. And that should give you another page the same. That one's a little long. The other one was a little wide and this one's a little long. Or is this one a little short? This one's a little long. And it's a little crooked. Thank goodness it's a little long. You know what? I'm going to make sure the side is straight and the bottom is straight. That will give me the crooked top, or the crookedness at the top. No, it's not. I think I made a mistake somewhere. I think the folder moved a little bit. I think Oz has a stomach ache. He's been laying in here right under my feet. this one. No, it's crooked. Which one is the crooked one? Oh, actually, I think it's this one. Mm-hmm. Yep. Wouldn't be playing with folders if I didn't make a mistake on one. I think the folder slid in the trimmer. And then you're going to want to go back and check all your corners for lines. This size will also allow you to cut. Do any of the other ones have? Why does that one have? See, the other ones don't have this. This one is the right length. So now we have that. Now let's take our square one. Put it here. Mark our height, our width, and our length, which was off camera. Sorry about that, but And the reason, if you move it up a little bit, then you'll cut off anywhere that you accidentally didn't cut it in half exactly right, and it's got that little lip on it at the bottom. See, I don't understand why this ended up with that. We're going to go back and erase any lines. We got tab and flat. It doesn't really matter at this point, but and then a tab, then a flat one, then a tab, then a flat one. They should all be the same size. Looks like I've got one that's not. I guess this ended up being my template, and I did make an, oh, because I had made a mistake on one. Well, that's okay then. That's actually okay. I think I might have picked up the crooked one. I don't want to cut it off too short, so I'm going to go by the bigger mark. Can't believe that I've messed this up again. Okay, let me put you on hold while I figure out which one's crooked. Okay, so now we're going to take and we're going to line them up. And I have an extra tabbed one, which is fine. Like I said, that gives us a tabbed one on the back as well. So we're going to line it up, tab, square, tab, square, tab, square, tab. You know what? If we don't use this one, we won't have the one that's like that. So let's not use it. I don't want to use the one with that. We'll just have a square one at the back. Then you're going to take the one with the the dots on it and put it on top. Then you're going to get out your crocodile. Then you're going to take, now mine's already at the right spot, so I'm not going to move it. But there's a guide on here that you can move. And what it does is it gives you to where you can't push this in too far. And the holes will all line up. Okay? So let's take these. And it'll do all of them at once. And line up your dot. Make sure your cards are all lined up. And then just punch your holes. Okay. Looks like I've got one that's a little crooked. This one. Okay, so anyway, those are your pages. Go through and make sure that you don't have any lines or anything. So this one was the first one I did, and it's got lines. So it looks like I'm going to have to do one more folder. It's crazy. Of course, I'll just save these for something else. And save them now. We might need them for this one. So I'm going to need, these are all lined up in the right size. Actually, the square ones look to be a little bit shorter, but they're all the same size, so I'm going to leave them. That way these are almost like covers all the way down, and those are almost like pages in all the way down. So I'm going to erase this line. Can you sound my voice sounds a little tired right now, and it's because I'm very frustrated. I have no idea. I think I was using the wrong square one as the guide, and I think I did it twice. So that's how I ended up with 2 that were incorrect. And I used 1. So these are all fine. The holes are lined up. They're the same size and the same height. So I can use the one square one to make a guide. So that's all we need to do to get ready. So you need to cut your pages. Put your page on the edge of one of the tabbed ones. Bring it in 1/8 of an inch or approximately. And make a little mark. Then go over 1/2 an inch from that little mark that you made and cut it off right there. Go in 1/2 an inch, make a mark at the top and the bottom, and draw a light line all the way down. Measure the center for your center hole. Come down 1 inch for the top hole. Go up 1 inch for the bottom hole. Line them all up and punch out your holes. Then put them in order of tabbed, flat, tabbed, flat. Oh, tabbed. I really don't need to make another one. That's fine. We'll just make it 1 page shorter. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10 pages. 5 and 8 pages. So we'll go with that because we're only doing X number of videos. You know what? I think I will make another one off camera and add it in because Otherwise, it's very, very small. Let's make one more. And let's use 4 folders. Yeah, let's use 4 folders and not 3. And that will give us 2 more pages to put in here, because there's a couple of collage pages that we're going to put in. You know, for decoration or whatever. And so, you know, there won't be anything on the page but the collage page. So I don't want to be down to like 4 pages, because we have a nice envelope. We have 2 of those, and we have lots of tabs and things. And I want to be able to use more of the ephemera than we would be able to use if we did less pages. And in fact, I may make 2 more and then do a couple off camera, or, you know, when we put these on, then we're just putting them on. All right, so I hope that's as clear as mud. Like I said, this is the one I chose for the cover because it has Bluebird on it. From, I don't know which country, everybody's bluebirds are different. In the US, our bluebirds are completely blue. But this was the closest one to what they're like in the US, so I decided to make this the cover. Plus, I thought this was interesting, the way it's laid out. We're going to be using some triple thick gloss, and I'm going to print out another one on this page and put the triple thick gloss on it, and then cut this envelope out, and possibly the bird. We'll see. And then we'll glue them back on, and that will give them a little bit of depth. And then it will have the gloss. It's not as thick looking or deep looking as using glossy accents, but it does make it shiny. It gives it a bit of a sheen. Okay? All right. Well, that's it for this frustrating video. And I will see you in the next video. And that will be a second for you and a day for me. Okay. Bye-bye.